I'm Donaldson CEO of Outback Goldfields, and we trade on the CSE under the symbol OZ or OZ, soon to be on the TSX. Craig Perry found 4 key assets in and around the Fosterville mine in Australia, the Victorian Goldfields, about a year ago, from a company that had purchased them about 5 years ago. So we acquired those, subsequently did a raise of about $11 million, and then had kind of a start and stop year. We started out pretty strong. We started drilling, and then Victoria and Australia as a whole went on pretty hard lockdown, and we had to stop drilling. I announced a program in May, June, and then we couldn't get a drill to site. It wasn't allowed to go across state lines. So good news is we didn't spend a lot of money, and we've since started that program up about 6 weeks ago, and we're rolling now. So again, forward statements, read that when you make some investments. Yeah, so we got 4 properties in and around the Fosterville mine. Of course, that's what many consider to be the highest margin, highest grade mine in the world here. So we're definitely in a hot district. It's going through a modern day gold rush right now. We've got a good board that I won't get into right now, but we're also following a path of success, both with the board members, but also with other companies that are in the area that had some exploration success and had some really good share appreciation. Our entry price, humbly, is quite good right now. You know, it was a tough summer for everybody, and it was extra tough when you don't have news coming out. So good news is I've got enough cash for 12-15 months, and I got a focused work program and should have some good news here starting hopefully before Christmas. About 60 million shares out. We're trading at about low 20s right now, so our market cap's about 15. About half of that is in cash. So I mean, if we were to IPO today, that would be quite exciting. It was just a kind of a tough year. So the story of the Victorian Goldfields, and it's heating up. And if you're following this story, I mean, the background is from about 1850 to 1920. You know, people from around the world came and mined this high-grade gold at or near surface, and they did that for about 70 years. Made Australia one of the richest countries in the world, and then they ran into cover. So it's a basalt cover, and they stopped. And there was about 100 years of very difficult mining until Fosterville made this unbelievable discovery of a swan zone. They're mining at about 50 grams per ton. So that sparked this second gold rush that's going on right now, and we're certainly part of that. So we've got 4 assets that you see there in orange, and if you look just for your bearings, you know, right near the S of Silver Spoon, that's Fosterville. Earlier this year, we drilled on Glenfine at the south. We put over $1 million into the ground. That's the only project we didn't own 100%. We now own 51% of it. We had some good results on that. We're now moving to Untitled. We've been drilling on that for the last 6-8 weeks. And if you kind of look at our program for the next, say, 12 to 15 months, will be 4 months at Untitled. We'll be 4 or 5 months at Ballarat West. Then we'll move to Silver Spoon. And so we've got enough cash and runway to do all that. And, you know, literally we kind of have three swings to hit a home run here over the next bit, and I think we will. So around Silver Spoon, you see the blue, that's Kirkland Lake, or now Agnico Eagle. So we touched them on one side. We've got Newmont in pink that liked the area and came in and bought a couple of years ago as well. What's interesting is that area in shaded red, so that was put up for auction by the Victorian government, was just sold for about $100 million. It's actually 4 parcels, 3 of 4 were purchased by Kirkland Lake. So tremendous amount of activity going in the area. If you combine all the exploration programs of everything on the map, there's probably about 250 million going into the ground over the next 12 months. The knock has been there's only one Fosterville, but we're starting to see sniffs that there's other similar type of deposits and discoveries going on, and the next year should prove that out. So we're Untitled, just quickly on our program here. We just drilled 8 holes underneath a historic mine. It was 250 grams per ton. This is common to what guys are doing in the area there. Go under these old historic mines and see what there's there. We're trying to understand the structure. At the same time, we did a grid of about 300 RAB holes over top of it, looking for high arsenic anomalies in the area. So these are all either sent out or being sent out for assays. We'll get these back by the end of the year and then really have a focused drill program early in the new year. here. Good news is we're seeing some high levels of arsenic so far. We're also hitting good quartz veining, which you want to see. So there's definitely some smoke in the area here, and we just got to find the fire. At the same time, we're doing preliminary work on Ballarat West, and this is Craig's favorite property, I think, and kind of indicative of what's happening in the area. If you look at the black outline, almost unexplored, and all the red and blue are historic workings. Within 3 or 4 kilometers of the property, there's been 17 million ounces of gold that have been produced, yet you look at there's almost nobody has done any work on the property, and the reason for that is it dips under the covers. So quite anxious to get on that. We think there's some north-south structures that go right through the property, and we think this is our best chance at hitting a 1 million plus ounce deposit. The good news is that others are getting well rewarded for discoveries in the area. Phosphorus South, many of you know, probably the most similar to us is E79, and they literally had one discovery and followed it up, which is fantastic. And they went from market cap less than us to 120 million. Eric Sprott came in, they financed again. Now they're good for another 3-4 years. So hoping to repeat something similar to that. Yeah, so lots of work and ahead of us. Like I said, we got kind of three points throughout the year that we should have some results and swings at the bat. And Craig, I'm going to steal your line here. So when we were evaluating this project and what we try to do with all projects is, what is the size of the prize? What is the cost of the test? And what is the chance of success? And in this case, size of the prize is as good as it gets. And, Fosterville style deposit, the cost of the test is not cheap actually, but at least we're in the right area. And in terms of infrastructure, in terms of infrastructure and workers and so on, it is as good as you get, which is why you get rewarded when you make a discovery. The chance of it ultimately becoming a mine, I think, is as good as anywhere in the world. And our chance of success is very high. The area is dripping with gold. There's been 80 million ounces produced, and we think there's another 80 million ounces yet to be discovered. So stay tuned.